We solved every puzzle. Every single one. In order. Correctly. With 11 minutes to spare. I know because the timer on the wall was counting down, and at 11:00 for remaining Theo got the last combination right, and the final lock clicked open, and we all made the sound people make when they win, that specific exhale of collective relief. Taylor said, "Finally." Dom laughed because it was his birthday, and we had actually done it. The door didn't open. We tried it again. We checked the combination. We checked every puzzle we had solved leading to it. All correct. All complete. The room said we had one. The lock said we had one. The door did not open. And then the timer, which had been counting down from 60 minutes and had reached 11:04 when we finished, did something I have never seen a timer do. It went past 0. Not reset. Not stop. Past 0. -1 minute. -2. -3. At negative for minutes and 7 seconds, Claire's voice, the host, the calm professional voice that had been guiding us through the room for the previous 49 minutes, came through the speaker one final time. She said, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't solve the last puzzle. Whatever you do, don't solve the last puzzle." We had already solved every puzzle. That was 40 minutes ago. We are still in the room. And something has been trying to get in since the timer went negative. The room was called the ward. Psychiatric hospital theme. The kind of escape room that commits fully to its concept: peeling paint, old medical equipment bolted to the walls, patient files in folders that were props but looked disturbingly real, overhead fluorescent lights that flickered on a timer to suggest electrical decay. A metal door with a wheel lock handle. A single barred window looking into a painted backdrop of an institutional corridor. Dom had booked it for his birthday because Dom has a horror obsession and a competitive streak, and he had read online that the ward had a 12% completion rate. He wanted to beat it. There were 4 of us. Dom, Taylor, Kells, and me. We had done escape rooms before, and never this one, never one with a completion rate this low. We had done our research. We knew the theme. We were ready. Claire introduced herself through the speaker when they locked us in. Calm. Warm. Professional. She explained the rules: 60 minutes, work as a team, ask for hints by saying Claire out loud, good luck. Standard escape room introduction. Nothing unusual. The first puzzle was a combination lock on a medical cabinet. We found the combination in a patient file within 4 minutes. The second puzzle was a series of dates on patient admission forms that corresponded to a numerical sequence. Dom solved it in 7 minutes. We were good at this. We moved through the room efficiently. We communicated well. We felt, for the first 49 minutes, like 5 people solving a well-designed puzzle in a well-themed room. Having a good time. At minute 31, Kel said the room felt different from when we had arrived. We told her it was the same room. She said, "I know. That's what's strange. It should feel more familiar by now. It feels less." We kept solving. We should have listened to Kells. When the door didn't open, Theo called out for Claire. No response. He called again. We all called. We stood in the solved room, every puzzle complete, every lock open except the one that mattered, and called Claire's name into the speaker. And got nothing back. Dom tried the door handle. Solid. He tried it harder. The wheel lock turned freely. But the door itself didn't move. Not stuck. Not jammed. Simply not operating as a door. Kells found the emergency exit sign above the door. A green light. She pressed the button beneath it. The light went red. That is when the timer went negative. And that is when Claire came back. Not the warm, professional Claire from the introduction. A different Claire. Same voice. Different register. Faster. Lower. Like someone talking while trying not to make noise. She said, "Don't solve the last puzzle. I know you think you already have. You haven't. There is one more. Do not solve it. Stay where you are. We are calling for help. Stay where you are. And do not solve the last puzzle." Theo asked what the last puzzle was. Claire didn't answer. Dom asked how we hadn't solved it if we'd completed everything in the room. Silence. Kells asked, "Claire, what is outside this room right now?" Claire said, very quietly, "Something that has been trying to get in for a long time. Something that needs the last puzzle solved before it can. You solved 11 puzzles. 11 puzzles open 11 locks. The 12th lock is the door. If you solve the 12th puzzle, the door opens." Taylor said, "That's how escape rooms work. You solve the puzzles, and the door opens. That's the whole point." Claire said, "Yes." Long silence. Then Kel said, "So the escape room is working exactly as designed?" Claire said, "Yes. I'm sorry. That's the problem." We went back through everything. Every clue. Every patient file. Every prop we had picked up and used and put down without really reading, because escape rooms train you to extract information and move on, to find the number and use the number and not think about where the number came from. We read everything this time. The patient files were not props. They were not fictional patients with fictional conditions created by a game designer to add atmosphere. They were records. Specific. Detailed. Clinically formatted records. Of something admitted to a facility at this address in 1987. Not a person. The admission record was clear about this in the way that official documents are sometimes clear about things. By carefully not naming them. Condition. Unclassified. Origin, unknown. Containment, structural. Status, ongoing. The date of admission was November 1987. The date of discharge was blank. Dom found the maintenance logs. Prop documents we had used to find a key code and discarded. We read them properly now. 37 years of maintenance logs for this building. Real logs. Real dates. Real work orders. Every log mentioned the same thing in the notes column. Do not open the basement level. Do not open the basement level. Do not open the basement level. 37 years of the same note. Different handwriting each time. Same words. Kells found something in the last patient file. The one we had used to get the final combination. At the bottom of the last page. Below the clinical notes. In handwriting different from the rest of the file. If you are reading this as part of a game, stop playing. The room is real. The locks are real. The thing in the basement is real. Every puzzle you solve opens one more barrier between you and it. Stop. Do not finish. Leave one puzzle unsolved. And it cannot reach the door. We had solved every puzzle. We had found every clue. We had been so good at the game. The maintenance logs. 37 years of the same for words. In different handwriting. Do not open the basement level. Every maintenance worker who had ever been in this building had written it. Not because they were told to. Because they had seen something. That made the instruction self-evident. Something that had been in the basement since 1987. Something that had been there before the escape room was built around it. Something that the escape room, whether its designers knew it or not, had been containing all along. Claire came back one more time. At -22 minutes, she spoke through the speaker again. And what she said was the clearest thing anyone said to us the entire time we were in that room. She said, "The last puzzle is not in the room. It has never been in the room. The last puzzle is a question. And one of you already knows the answer. One of you has known the answer since before you booked this room. Since before any of you had heard of the ward. The thing in the basement chose this group. It chose you specifically. It has been waiting for the one of you who knows the answer to say it out loud." Kells asked, "What's the question?" Claire said, "You already know." Long silence. Then Dom said, very quietly, "Not to any of us. To the room. To the speaker. To whatever was listening. I know what the question is." We all looked at him. Dom is the one who booked the room. Dom is the one who researched it. Who found it? Who sent the link to the group chat 3 weeks ago and said, "This one. For my birthday. I want to beat this one." Dom is the one who had read the reviews obsessively and known the completion rate and driven us here and been first through the door. Dom said, "I've been dreaming about this room for 6 months. I didn't know it was this room until we walked in. I thought it was just a dream. I've been dreaming about solving every puzzle and opening the door. And I thought it was just anxiety about turning 30. Taylor said, "Dom, don't." Dom said, "It's my birthday." Kells grabbed his arm. Dom said, "I'm not going to say it. I just want you to know I know what it is. I've always known what it is. That's why it chose me. That's why it chose all of you. Because you'd be here with me when it was time." The timer stopped at -41 minutes. The room went completely dark. In the dark. From somewhere below the floor. Not the speaker. Not a recording. From below. Something knocked. 3 times. Waiting for an answer. Dom didn't say it. I want to tell you that clearly and first. Whatever the answer was, whatever question the thing in the basement had planted in Dom's head across 6 months of dreams about a room he hadn't yet visited, Dom did not say it out loud. He sat down on the floor of the ward in the dark. He was quiet. And the rest of us were quiet. The knocking stopped after the 3rd knock. And did not come again. We sat in the dark for 40 minutes. Nobody spoke. Not because we had decided not to. Because speaking felt like the wrong thing to do. In the specific way that some silences feel wrong to break. At -81 minutes. The door opened. From the outside. 2 firefighters with torches. Behind them, a building manager and 2 police officers. The expression on the first firefighter's face when he saw us is something I will not be able to describe adequately. It was the expression of someone finding something where nothing should be. He said, "How long have you been in here?" We said, "Approximately an hour and 20 minutes. He said, "That's not possible. We checked this room 40 minutes ago. It was empty. The building had been evacuated 40 minutes into our session. A gas leak reported by the office building next door. Nothing to do with the ward. Nothing to do with escape rooms. A routine emergency evacuation of the entire block. The company had tried to reach us through the speaker system. No response. They had checked the room in person. The ward appeared empty. Every other group in the building had been found and evacuated. Only our room appeared to have no one in it. We were in it the entire time. 5 people. In a room that appeared empty to everyone who looked. The escape room company closed the ward permanently the following week. No explanation given to the public. The building manager I spoke to 3 days later said only that the room had always had what he called a strange history, and that the company had been looking for a reason to close it for some time. I asked if he knew what was in the basement. he said. The building doesn't have a basement. I looked up the original planning documents for the building that night. The building has a basement. It has always had a basement. The basement is not on any floor plan filed after 1987. Dom hasn't talked about what the question was. None of us have asked. There is an understanding between the five of us. Unspoken. Complete. That the question stays with Dom. And whatever is in the basement. And nowhere else. We had a birthday dinner instead. Late. Very late. Somewhere with bright lights and loud music. And a lot of people. And no quiet corners. Dom ordered the cake himself. He blew out the candles. He didn't make a wish.